Hey guys, Synthesis here, and welcome to episode 11 of Questlog. Today's topic is going to be about difficulty and should you be ashamed of playing on easy or normal mode when playing video games. So this has been topic of discussion between my friends and I for a long time. I am on the side of no, you should not be ashamed, and a lot of my friends are on the side of you have to play him for the biggest challenge in the world, and that's how it's meant to be played. So here are my thoughts and opinions on this particular subject. So first things first, video games, in my opinion, are an experience. You shouldn't be forced to experience something you shouldn't want to experience. That's why there are these difficulty ranges. I believe if you play in a normal difficulty, you shouldn't be ashamed of that, because technically, since it's normal, that's the way that the game was intended to be played. So if when you play in easy mode, that's arguable, because it's like at the end of the day you're interacting with the game, and if it's too easy, I can't imagine why you would be so entertained. I mean, if it's drop dead easy where it's just like you're just pressing a button for 20 hours, then why even bother getting the game unless you're just in it for the story, in which for that you might as well have gotten a visual novel or something like that where it's just pure story and no gameplay. Because like I said, you should play it in whatever mode that you want, but at least make sure you're entertained while you're playing it. That's the whole point of the game. So in my opinion, normal mode was the way that games were intended to be played, unless your game is intentionally hard, where you might as well not even change the difficulty, because games like Dark Souls, they're challenging enough as they are. And it's like, I don't remember Dark Souls 3 having like a different set of difficulties depending on what you chose. I don't think that was even a thing. So, with that said, it's kind of like if your game is intentionally difficult, just don't include a normal mode. Don't be afraid to make hard games, because that's something that you know it is good for players. You become a better gamer depending on the difficulty of the games you play. So, with that said, don't be ashamed of playing in normal mode either, because that's most likely the way that the game was intended to be played, and the hard mode was just an added difficulty for someone who wants to, get more of a challenge out of the game. And that's respectable too. Just, at the end of the day, just play the way you want to play. No one's forcing you. I mean, you spent money on this, so you might as well use it the way you want to use it. Don't let anybody tell you how to use the things that you used your money to buy. Just do it the way you want to do it. But don't shy away from a challenge either, because some of the best experiences that I've had with games have been fairly challenging. Like, for example, Doom was a game that I enjoyed playing it on the higher difficulties because of the level of challenge. Dark Souls 3 is obviously one of the most frustrating experiences of my life, but that game pretty much turned me into a masochist, because I loved every second of it, but it beat me the hell up. And something like Devil May Cry, also fairly challenging. Resident Evil, like the first couple of ones, also fairly challenging if you're new to the series and you don't know how to plan and strategize. So those things, awesome, fairly awesome. It's just if you feel like it's too much for you, you don't have to play them. That's the good part. You don't have to play it. Uh, and if there is no like lower difficulty, then too bad for you. That's the game. That's the way the game was intended to be played. So that is the way that you should play it, and that's what I believe for everything. If there was like an intended way of experiencing something, that's the way that you should strive to experience it, because that is the best possible experience that you can gain out of the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you have spent money on this, and you should be able to do it the way you want to do it. But the creators also spend a lot of time making this. Therefore, if they have a vision of the way that the piece of media should be consumed, then you should respect that as well. Because imagine going to a restaurant and you tell the chef how to cook your meal, what ingredients to use, all of this and that, and it's like you're not getting the authenticity of the dish that was presented to you if you're the one controlling every single factor. So the same way you would go to a restaurant and just eat what's on the menu the way it was intended and the way that the chefs make it, then you should probably do the same with video games. If the game was intended to be difficult, you should play it the original intention of the way. And that also goes on publishers. If you want your game to be difficult, don't even give them an option to play it on an easier mode, because you should have integrity as creators and just do the things that you want to make. Because at the end of the day, you go online, let's say you play on Overwatch, there's no easy mode. This is nothing like that. You go online and you play and you get your ass kicked and then you become a better player. That's it. And you know, don't dumb down your games. Your clientele is fairly smart. I say that with very little confidence because there's a ton of idiots out there. But don't dumb down your content. You're not only disrespecting your customers, but you're disrespecting yourselves for dumbing yourselves down to another level where you know that's not what you wanted to make. Don't make stuff that you don't want to make, guys. You know, do what you want to do, and you know, keep your creative integrity. And don't ever be ashamed, you know, to consume something the way that you want to consume it, because like I said, sounding like I'm super repetitive here, but you spend the money, you should have, you know, the right of way of choosing how you want to consume it too. So with that said, let me know you guys' opinions on how you like to play games and all of that down in the comments below. I'm gonna give you a couple of lists of games where I personally changed the way I played them, so you can have an idea of the way I play games. When it comes to racing games, I put it as difficult as possible because that's something of technique. So for example, a Need for Speed, I made it as challenging as possible for me, because with that, it forces me to become a better driver in the game, and it also pushed me to get some of the better equipment so I can just do better overall in the game. Something that I also played difficulty-wise was Uncharted 4 and Dark Souls 3. I also played DMC, the remastered version on the PlayStation 4, you know, of the PS3 game, not the original Devil May Cry, but the redone version, like the short-haired Dante version. That one I played on the most difficult mode available to me, because I know that that's how those games were intended to be played. Games that I played on normal mode. I played Persona 5 first playthrough on normal mode. I played all of the Neptunia games on normal mode. I played Final Fantasy 15 on normal mode because there wasn't a hard option at the beginning of the game, and even if there was, I would have just gone on normal mode as well. Resident Evil 6, don't hate me for playing it, but that I also played on hard mode. And you pretty much have an idea. If it's something skill based, I want a little bit more of a challenge. If there's a lot of story and it's like a super long, arduous game, then let me just get through it, man. One of my friends really hated me for playing Fire Emblem Awakening on casual, where he was like, "Oh, you should play you're the one who says play it the way it was intended to be played, and this and that." Well, listen, man. Those are fairly long, and we all know that as soon as one of your troops dies, you just restart the whole system. I'm not gonna restart the whole system. Screw that. I'd just rather have them like feed them to the lions while I'm playing, and then just have them come back so I can just get through the game, because it's fairly long, man. I don't have the most unlimited time in the world. So with that said, that's another one. Don't hate me for that. I know the Fire Emblem fan base has quite the passionate fan base, but those are the games that I like to play at varying difficulty levels. I have never put a game on easy because honestly, if you can't take even like a slight bit of a challenge, you might as well just not be playing games. Controversial, I know, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this topic. If you like the video, please press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, leave comments down below so we can have a conversation on this. And I hope I can continue making videos for you guys in the long run. If you want to support my content, I'm also leaving the link for my Patreon at the bottom. Donate whatever you can, even a couple of cents would be really good. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice rest of your day. Peace.